This week, basically, it's a week-long class, Monday through Friday. It's a class about the Civil War, and basically it's a week of boot camp. They learn to march, they learn the lifestyle of how they were treated, where they would have slept, and things like that. Then this Friday, we do a parade in town for the 4th of July, honoring those that have served and those that are serving now, to kind of honor them and remember them. I just thought, well, the 4th of July is on a Friday, so it would be a great opportunity for them to learn the history of even Gettysburg that happened July 1st through the 3rd, and learn how war was back then, how inaccurate the guns were, or even how deadly it was. At the beginning of the war, they thought it was going to be a picnic, one battle, last 5 minutes and over with, and families actually brought picnics out. And then when they realized how gruesome it was going to be, they left, and it lasted for over 4 years.
During the summer, the museum will hire people to help teach classes. We have the Civil War, we have fishing, tinsmithing, that sort of thing. It is something that really interests me. I did a school project where I looked at our cemetery and found all the Civil War veterans buried there. And I was actually able to replace, they were missing some of the GAR markers in the graves, and I was able to replace some of them, so that was a lot of fun. You get some of the history from, books and that sort of thing, but it's a lot of the actually living, doing the marching, hearing about, the medical stuff that they had, which was really bad until women showed up and brought soap. Until 1864, you had an 80% chance of dying in the hospital. That was before women were brought in, and once they brought in with soap, you got an 80% chance of living. They would use barns and whatever they could find, and if a tool fell on the ground, they just wipe it off on their aprons and keep working. I think teaching them about the history, we do a lot of marching and that sort of thing, but I think teaching about some of the famous battles and that sort of thing is really important, and helping them understand what a lot of their ancestors went through.
It's pretty fun because we're learning about how people did things in the Civil War, and about how the punishment went, the discipline, and if you did something wrong, how you'd be disciplined. And we're also learning how they marched, how they moved, and if they did move wrong, incorrectly, they'd get punished. It's also quite fun because we get to laugh along with the instructor if he makes a joke, but only to an extent, so it's a pretty fun class. I like it. Just marching and all the just trying to have friends and making friends. I would recommend it.
I took this class because I wanted to spend time with my cousins here and my siblings. I've done a lot of interesting things here. Listen to this guy tell us a whole bunch of facts and stuff. They're actually pretty cool.
I thought it was just going to be walking around Stuhr Museum and hanging out, but it ended up being a lot more physical activity than I thought it was going to be.
When we signed up, I was learning about the Civil War in school, so I thought it would be very, a good hands-on thing to learn more about. I enjoy it. It's very interesting. It was very bloody, very bloody. Be prepared to be yelled at, and be prepared to hold a gun above your shoulders.